Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. Today I'm super happy because finally I'm going to talk a lot about the Sternguard veterans. So for this video I would like to do an unboxing and then assemble the miniatures and share my impressions about them. Here we have a closer look of the box, and I'm going to repeat this later, but what I like the most about this Sternguard Veteran Squad is that every single Space Marine in the squad looks unique, because it's quite usual for Space Marine units that they look almost the same. They are the Space Marine type wearing the same type of power armor, and we just have small changes in the pose. But in this case, there's a lot of options to make each one of these Space Marines very unique, and that's always welcome. In the back, as always, we have a scale 1-on-1 of the miniatures inside, and this is fantastic. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4 different sergeants that we can make from this box. Even if the main body is the same for the 4 options that we have here, they look super different to each other. They don't feel like they are the same. Maybe this one with this one, they look a little bit more similar because they have like the same color scheme. But when we compare the poses, they look quite different, and that's always welcome. Aside from that, we can decide between the heavy bolter and the fire cannon, or we don't have to have a heavy weapon if we don't want to. That's always nice. So let's open and see what's inside. 32mm bases for all of them. Space Marine transfers that you can see here, and I'm not going to talk too much about it. The building instructions that I will take a look at then a little bit later. First, let's check the plastic. 3 sprues to build 5 Space Marines. Just by saying that, we already know that we are going to have a lot of customization options. Here we can see already some Space Marine parts. Then we have the 2 heavy weapons. And here we have some weapon magazines and scopes that I have to admit that I'm surprised, because almost all of them, they are different and unique, and some of them even they have like purity seals like this one, and that's always cool in my opinion. And here we have some shoulder pads. I like these ones because they look quite similar to the one of the company heroes, and that's nice. This will make these ones look more like veterans and more unique. And then we have some of them that they're more like plain ones, and we have some helmets and heads here. I'm going to use this one for sure. This one is going to be in my squad, yes or yes. And then we have some of them, they look a little bit different from each other. That's nice. This is the basic one. This is the basic for the sergeants, but then these ones are a little bit more different. And then of course we have the option of not having helmets in our Space Marines. Here we have a lot of Space Marines body parts, and we have some weapons that they are waiting, the magazines that we saw earlier. And if we look at here, we can clearly see how many customization options we have, because just for the legs we can choose between a lot of different options, and there's more here. I mean, there's a lot of them, and that's quite nice because we can make them quite unique, and even we can get 2 boxes of this specific set and make 5 completely different Space Marines. I really like this about this box. And of course we have all the combi weapons here. We have 2 combi plasmas, 1 combi melta here, another combi melta here, and 2 combi flamers. That's quite nice. We can give all of them different combi weapons, and we're going to even have leftover ones. Let's take a look at the book, then I will assemble these veterans, and then we can talk about them more properly. This looks beautiful already. We have all the interchangeable parts, that this is like a lot. And when we look at the sergeant, we can see like 3 different ways of building him and a lot of different weapon options. That's always quite interesting. Aside from that, as I mentioned, we have different customization for the legs, and we can choose between having a banner in the back or not. Then we have our friend with the heavy weapon, that we have 2 different heavy weapon options, and we can decide if just give him a combi weapon or a normal rifle. So it's quite interesting. And it seems like it's the same arms for both of them and the same backpack, so there's not much choice. We are not going to have leftover heavy weapon, it's just that we are going to reuse the arms for the same one. Another member of the squad, more customization for the legs, and at least with this one we can choose different pose for the weapon. That's nice, but I have to say, please, Games Workshop, please, if there's going to be a Space Marine shooting a weapon and he has a scope, please make him look through the scope, because he's not using the scope right now. I mean, look at this closer, even closer. Look at this. Why does this Space Marine has a scope and iron sights if he's not using any of them? After the funny one, we have the last member of the squad, and again, more customization. And I like this one because, I mean, this pose is cool, but with this one he has a combi flamer and it actually looks like he's shooting the flamer. That's interesting. And once we finish assembling, then we have like a lot of different small details that we can give to them in terms of decorations to make them look more unique. Aside from everything that we were able to see here, that there's like a lot of things. Sprues, instructions, tools. Let's build these miniatures. Here we have an assembled Sternguard Veteran Squad, but before talking about them, there's something else that I would like to show you. These are the sprues where they came in, and as you can see, there's still a lot of extra bits here, so that's quite nice because we have a lot of extra weapons, shoulder pads, magazines, general decorations that we can use for other Space Marines, so it's quite nice. There's like a lot of things here still. Here you can see the full assembled squad, and I have to admit that actually I'm quite in love with this specific unit, so let's take a closer look to each miniature. Let's start with the funny one, the one that is shooting without looking for the scope or even the iron sights. I gave him this specific magazine because this looks kinda like some kind of laser, so I want to think that he's using some kind of reference rather than experience. And as you can see, he's wearing a Black Templar shoulder pad. It came in the Black Templar upgrade sprues, and I gave one of them to each miniature of this unit. And I say only one because they come in the box with these specific shoulder pads, and I like how they look. These are the ones that come also with the company heroes, so it's quite nice. I wanted to keep these ones, and like this it's also cheaper for me because I have to use less of the specific Black Templar ones. Another veteran, I like the pose of this one, and I will focus a little bit more in all the details around. As you can see, he has like a lot of things going on around that belt. There's like a lot of small details, and that's kind of fun. I like that kind of stuff. And as you can see, another Black Templar shoulder pad here, and he has like a nice helmet with these small dots. So again, another cool Sternguard veteran. This is probably one of my favorite Space Marines in the unit. I really like this walking pose, and he looks quite nice. I even gave him these small candles, again from the Black Templars upgrade sprues, and I gave him this small shield here because I wanted him to be like more noticeable because I like him a lot. So you can see again purity seals all over the miniature. I even gave him this small thing, so there's like even more things going on, and he looks quite nice. And the cherry on top is this helmet with this cross here as well. This one will look very nice as a Black Templar. This gentleman is carrying a very fancy weapon, and I love it because this is probably one of the flamers that I like the most. I mean, in terms of how it looks, because it looks quite massive when you look it to the front. It's quite nice. I mean, from the side, it's not that impressive, but yes, it's quite big and noticeable, and I like how this one looks like a proper heavy gunner, so it's quite nice. And I mean, I can repeat the same, lots of details around, lot of things going on, and he looks fantastic. And finally, the sergeant of the squad. This miniature is so old school, he looks great, it's so classic, it's fantastic. I love the combination of this back banner with this specific helmet. I mean, he looks like a classic space marine, and that's quite nice. I really like this one a lot. For me, it was actually quite difficult to choose the weapon loadout for this specific sergeant because there was too many options, and I decided to go for what I think that it looks cool, so that's why I gave him the bolt rifle. I mean, the pistol always looks quite nice, but I like this one more in game, and I wanted him to have the bolt rifle, so I went for that. And then I decided to go for the sword just because I thought that it looked cool. I thought about giving him the power fist, I even assembled it, but I'm sorry, I decided to go for what I thought that it looked the most cool. To finish the video, I would like to compare the Sternguard veterans that I just made with the ones that came in the Leviathan box. Even if they are these push-fit miniatures, they still have a lot of personality, they look good, and they have like a lot of details and small things going on. But, of course, these ones are lacking a lot right now because they don't have any kind of option, so this is what you get. And for me, the bigger issue is that the ones in the Leviathan box, you had like the heavy weapon and then 2 combi weapons and then 2 bolt rifles. But even if I kinda thought about, okay, I got these Sternguard veterans, so I can assemble like they are in the Leviathan box, and I will have 2 units, one of them with all of them having combi weapons and another one with all of them having bolt rifles. But as you can see, these ones are missing the unique shoulder pad that we can see in the ones that came in their own specific box. So that's why I thought that it will look weird, and I was not quite happy with it. I mean, these ones, for being push-fit models, they are quite nice. I mean, all the detail is still there, and they have like a lot of things going on, even quite unique things. Like, for example, here we have extra ammunition, and here we have for the more ammunition for the plasma weapon, I guess, because this one is the one that is here in the back. And we don't have this with the new ones that come in their own box. We can see that here as well. I mean, they both look great, and this one even has some details in the shoulder pad, but when we look at the other side, it's like, okay, we can notice quite clearly that this one has something that this one does not. And that's why I kinda like these ones much more, like a lot more. For sure, I will keep this one, just in case that if one day I want to play the squad with the heavy bolter instead of this fire cannon, I can have that option. So for sure this one is going to be a veteran, but it will be weird because he's not going to look like the rest of the squad. He's going to have something missing here. Because of everything that I mentioned, these ones I will try to do something different. I will try to convert them into something because, as I said, I cannot see these ones now as Sternguard veterans having those cool looking ones, fancy, brand new. And this is the end of the video. It was super fun to assemble the Sternguard veterans and I'm really looking forward to paint them. For sure soon I will be uploading videos about me painting this specific squad, and of course I invite you to let me know in the comments what you think about this specific unit. And with that being said, thank you very much for watching. If you are still here, please consider giving me a like and subscribing. Thank you very much and see you next time.